Hey everyone, it is Chuck Patton, proprietor of Perfect Day Cafe. As you can tell, I just got back from vacation, got a little Italian in me, and I am back to my kitties now. As usual, we try to introduce you to somebody that's special. This is Squeaky. So Squeaky is upstairs in our nursery and fostering center. And Squeaky had an ovariohysterectomy, which basically means an entire removal of her ovaries during her spay surgery. She has a little bit of kidney issues, which is why she's up here all by herself. But if you can tell, she is so sweet. So anyway, today's discussion is the happy number of 10,000 adoptions. So if you're watching this here today, you're either a big fan of the cafe or you like the concept of the cafe. We try to talk a little bit about the business side of a cafe, and we try to talk about the fun side of it. And just as important, we try to talk a little bit about all the different adoptions and things about adoptions, adopting adults versus kittens, all that fun kind of stuff. So, and with that, yes, we even talk about a little bit of our special needs kitties. And the reason why 10,000 is such an amazing deal, number one, this is significantly more adoptions than any other cat cafe is doing. And we're very proud of this. We're very humbled by it as well, too. But what we're really trying to do here is to interrupt the entire industry and try to set an example and show everybody what can be done. So with that, I want to kind of go through a little bit of, on these 10,000 adoptions, talk to you a little bit about the history of what's going on with homeless cats, talk a little bit about what the solutions have been, and talk a little bit about what the Perfect Day Cat Cafe has done in order to reach this all-time historical numbers. So to talk to you first a little bit about the history, it was fun because as I was talking to all the different shelters that we work with, asking them historical data, what has gone on in the cities, what has been the solutions of the past, and it really is not a good story. Even as far as 10 years ago, 15 years ago, significantly more people or shelters were euthanizing at that particular time. So the basic gist of what would happen is if you found a kitty, if you found kittens, or even if you found out that you did not have room in your house, or for whatever reason somebody would surrender back, nobody wanted to do that because the reality is if they went to a shelter, especially a rural shelter, that animal would either be 50-50 whether or not to be adopted, and then other than that, euthanized. And very proud of how far the shelter industry has come, and the amount of euthanizing has gone down significantly. More specifically, in these city areas where there's population, there's charity, and there's financial resources to make sure that they're like the Kentucky Humane Society here, where they go out and get cats. They can have the money in order to operate on them, do a variohysterectomy like what we did here. And I always tell people it's a good sign when you see animals, when they take their eye or take a leg or something, that means they can afford to do it. The much cheaper option, of course, is to just euthanize them, and it's a lot easier that way. So that's one of the things we kind of talk about the history. In the past, significantly more euthanizing. Now the solutions have come out a lot better. The other thing that has a tremendous impact is the amount of TNR that's gone on. So trap, neuter, release, or I think it's return is what they've called it as well too. A little bit softer word, but that's the reality of it all. They're gonna be spayed, neutered, and then put out wherever they were found. Now the reason why that's good is because they're no longer reproducing. Where we are at here in Kentucky, it is the South. It's a little bit longer warm period, so that means a little bit longer reproduction period. But the reality of it is trap, neuter, and release has significantly helped the population, the homeless population that had existed out there. And then finally, just again, shelter adoptions, how much significant impact they've made and resources they've made kind of come together in order to make it a little bit easier on the population and keeping those populations low. But I do believe here as of June of 2023, the amount of cat cafes now numbering over 170, 180 perhaps. I see it every day where somebody's opening up something new. And the reason why that's significant is because that's all their mission is. They're doing the thing that the shelters have traditionally not been as good at. The shelters are very good at cleaning and keeping a nice hospital-like environment. They're also very good at all the medical care, the intake, but it has not been as conducive to be able to do the retail piece of the shelters, is what they call it. And that's where the cat cafes come into place. Again, I don't know if you've ever been to a shelter before, but if you have been in there, it is a bit like a vet's office or a hospital. And it's amazing, but it just isn't really comfortable and sweet in order to go there and get adoptions. A lot of them are doing a great job of changing that, but the reality of it is that's not exactly where it is. So Cat Cafe is another one of those big factors that has changed, the recent history. But again, euthanizing was rampant. They tried to get TNR going on. And then that's when the cat cafes come on board to kind of give you a little bit of that history. So in other words, cat cafes come on board. They are basically a disruptor for the way that shelters have had animals adopted. And that's what we've been doing now for 5.5 years in the Louisville location and just about 3 years in the Covington location. And we have been well supported, and we are excited about our numbers. So our numbers are fantastic. When we opened up, we did about 600 adoptions in the first 6 months. So we're like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. We thought we would do 300 in a full 12 months. We did 606. So in that first year, we did 1,300 total. And then in 2020, we actually did 1,852 adoptions here in Louisville. And then that's when we opened up November. We opened up the Perfect Day Cat Cafe in Covington, Kentucky, which is right there in Cincinnati. So since then, the Covington store averages about 1,100, 1,200 adoptions a year. And the Louisville store continues to average about 1,700. And that is a lot of numbers. And I love it when people come in, just like they did today. We had some friends come in from Detroit, Michigan. And he's like, man, that's a lot of adoptions. That's fantastic. And so they always ask us, what is it that we've been able to do? And how did we reach 10,000 adoptions in 5 years? Which, think about it, it's less than that period of time as well, too. So, hi, I can't tell if they're angry. Who's our expert in there? Ears are back a little bit, or is it just because you're not getting petted? Yes, that's it. So, how we've been able to do that? I really kind of broke it down to 7 or 8 items that I think have really hit the mark. And in any business, if you stay laser focused on the mission, on getting everybody on board in the same place, what actions are taking place that meet that exact objective that you want to get to, that's how you can make this work. And I think it's a little bit about what we've been able to do. First and foremost, I think we focused up on the disruption. As I told you before, we're not a shelter, so we tried to make this place look cute, non-shelter-like. We've got fluffy stuff, as you see everywhere, and this is our nursery and fostering center. So this is like a catch-all here where we put special needs kitties, mama with babies, things like that. Oh, you got me. That scared me a little bit. That was nothing like it. And then other than that, we're just trying to disrupt. Let's not be negative about it. Let's not complain about it. Let's kind of go into a little bit more of, here we are to celebrate, a kitty being able to go to your house. The second thing is, making it a full experience. We want to make sure we have a bar here. We have incredible drinks like Meowmosas and Meowgaritas and Poffy and Purrbin, and we really try to immerse the customer in the entire experience. So they're just kind of overwhelmed, even if somebody is not a cat person, We want them to tell their friends, no, you got to go. Like, try this place out. It's so unusual. So embracing that experience thing just drives in more people. Overall, we get about 40,000 visitors to both locations and between both locations. And that's a big part of it as a numbers game. Many people that come in here are not here to adopt, but then they fall in love and they're like, I don't know why we don't have another cat in the house. So that was a big part of it. And next is becoming that destination. We get a tremendous amount of tourism that comes in both locations. In our Cincinnati location, we have more of a sports town there. So the Cincinnati Reds, the Bengals, we get a lot of tourism from that. And we have a couple hotels that are very near. And then here in Louisville, this is a bourbon country here and as well as horse racing. So we get people coming in from out of town. We also get a lot of convention business that come in here. And they just want to come in for a little bit and enjoy. And yeah, sometimes they come home. But it is important that you become that destination and you become that bucket list. And that's what I feel as if we've done better. So next is we have a business with a purpose. So yes, we are a for-profit business. We've donated, however, over $110,000 in those 5.5 years and done over 10,000 adoptions. So we are definitely a business with a purpose. We're very succinct about what our mission is and how we follow that and the things necessary in order to make that happen. I apologize for the TV in the background that may be messing you all up. But it's something that everybody has to be rallying around. Every employee takes a job because of that purpose. Everybody comes in here every day with the mission of trying to get these animals adopted. And more than that, everybody's on board with how we're going to get more people in here, how we're going to make the cafe successful so we can continue to do this year after year. Next is we get all the team on board, just as like I had said. If you set a mission, you set all the objectives you want to. If you don't get every team member bought into the fact that this is what we're all here about, and when I say bought in, I mean that they joined this business to become a part of that mission. And it's just so important that we all get on board with that. And when we happen, I call it the 4-wheel drive mission. You can be an individual owner and you can say, I want everybody to do this. How fastly can you go up the hill if it's only 1-wheel drive? It's only one person. And I feel like between both of our locations, we might be a 17-wheel drive vehicle. So that makes it a lot easier to be able to achieve the objectives that you want to. And the other one is focus on the positive. Again, we have a special needs kitty in here. Her name is Squeaky. She is up for adoption. But, the big purpose of that is just try to stay light, try to stay positive, got positive events, everything going. We had all of the things that went on politically in probably the past 2 to 3 years during the recent elections. And I've told the whole staff, no politics in here. This has to be everyone's happy place. And I think it's made it to the point where everybody feels welcome here. And we wanted to make sure that we kept it that way. And there's a real selfish reason too. If everybody, when they come in here, are happy because this is their positive place, then boy, that's a fun place to work. And that's a side effect of what we're doing as well too. And then, of course, no objective would be a reality when it comes to adopting cats if we didn't have a shelter that was just amazing. And so we have the Kentucky Humane Society, Paws Rescue out of Lawrenceburg. Kentucky Humane Society is here at the Louisville location. Lawrenceburg, Cincinnati Animal Care, League of Animal Welfare, and Kenton County Animal Services are who provide us our kitties in Northern Kentucky. Now, these guys have to make sacrifices in order to make this happen, and they have to think outside the litter box a little bit, and some things are scary. Kitties get sick here, but they don't have anybody on staff, so they got to trust us. So there's a lot of obstacles that we all need to cover and make sure that go well, and hopefully they feel very comfortable, and they do. They do audit every year. They do all kinds of fun stuff to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to. But at the end of the day, without these shelter partners and the sacrifice of every individual from intake to veterinarian staff, we need them so bad, and they deserve a huge credit to it. If you don't have a strong shelter partner, you will go out of business as a cat cafe. And we've had that happen before as well. 2 reasons, by the way, side note, cat cafes go out of business. Number 1, the shelter relationship. Number 2 is the owner has no idea what they're doing. That is a reality. And number 3 is they're not making enough income in order to be able to pay the bills. And that's why there's a cover charge typically to go into the cat room. Without that, for us, it's 70% of our revenue. And without that, you wouldn't be able to survive. I just think we do a better job of drawing people into the cafe, which keeps us alive. And then last but not least, support from the community like yourselves. We have really been open about saying 10,000 adoptions does not happen unless we get you all to help support us and share our messages, share your posts, tell your friends, tag your friends, including what we're doing here today. You can help out more kitties. What we're trying to do on our YouTube channel is essentially extend our reach beyond a physical location and become somewhat of a virtual cat cafe. So that's what we're working on, different unique ideas. If our YouTube channels and the rest of our social media can continue to grow that mission, then essentially we'll be able to expand what our digital footprint and bring even more of these babies to you. Hi, baby. Can they see you? Oh, scared a little bit. So anyway, we do want to thank everybody. 10,000 adoptions takes a huge team. It takes a movement beyond the disruption. And I want to thank our team and this community that's watching it. If you want to help, again, my name is Chuck, and you can just subscribe, like. And the other thing is we love comments. What it is that we can cover in here. We'll even cover the controversial stuff because I kind of like it. I feel as if I've thought through everything ad nauseum. But you might have a question that I'm not aware of. And we would like to hear a little bit about that. Suggestions as well, too, especially for content within this videos. So thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully there's a lot more content that you'll find useful, and have a perfect day.